so well written and fleshed out, and yeah, I immediately liked it, and I contacted the writer and optioned it, and then we went from there.
Oh, perfect. Now, back in your, Tommy or Mark, either one can answer this. Ann Lynn McCord played Eve, so how did you find her, and how did that work out? And by the way, I like the name Eve, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, Eve, I get it.
Right.
I like that a lot, so either one you can handle it.
Well, I had been kind of looking or trying to figure out, who I should go after to play this role. We wanted an actress with some kind of name or recognition, and it took us several years to really get to that point. But we finally said, okay, let's find the right actress, and if we do that, then we can go ahead and make the movie, because it really depended on, we had to have the right actress. And we were watching, we were looking through Amazon one night for a movie to watch. It was on Halloween night, actually, and we found this movie called Excision, which I had never heard of, and we watched it, and I was just blown away by Anna Lynn's performance in that. She plays the lead character, and I was just, I was like, who is this girl? And so I, did some research the next day, and I actually ended up calling, or I emailed her manager and said, can I send you an offer? And I sent her an offer with the script, and literally the next day he got back to me and said she wants to do it. So it happened really fast, and from that point we felt we really had something to go forward with.
So, questions from the audience? Yeah, right there.
Was there any hidden meaning behind something when she kept scratching and had that thing on her neck? I was trying to figure out if that had to do with something.
Yeah, that was just something kind of subtle that the writer had put in the script. He just had this idea of, as you're getting closer to the devil, you start breaking out into this rash. And a lot of people don't notice it, some people do, but Dr. Thomas, Dean Cain's character, he starts breaking out in that same rash toward the end as well. So did anyone notice that?
Yes,
Okay.
on his hand. The character Angel, is she supposed to be God?
Well, according to the writer, yes.
Uh-huh.
She is God. Or the representative of God.
Right.
However you want to think about it.
Was really exciting is, we shot it here in Phoenix, all around Phoenix, and we had, so we did everything locally. We had 65 crew members. We had 38 actors. We had over 350 extras. Extras, raise your hand. There's some extras here. Yep. Couldn't do it without you. So it was like a little family, because we shot 21 locations in 19 days. And we made it kind of round and round and round. We got, it was very exciting, and it just all happens all at once, and then everyone leaves, and then, then he gets to sit in front of his computer the rest of the time.
How'd you get time in the court scenes? Like, how did you, film in like a court? Was that a real court, or how did that work out? Did you work that out with the city or the state?
Well, we had a lot of difficult locations in the script, and in fact, we were very worried before we started shooting, because we couldn't find some of the locations, and one of those was the courtroom. And we had looked around the valley, called every municipality that had a courtroom, and asked if we could shoot there, and nobody was really considering it at all. They didn't want to mess with it, and finally we found a courtroom in Glendale. They said, oh yeah, we'll let you shoot there, on a day we're not open. And we got all excited, and we drive up to Glendale to go look at the courtroom, and we walk in, and every single surface has a huge glass partition
Oh, yeah.
because of COVID.
Yeah, right.
And they weren't just temporary partitions, they were like bolted to the desks.
Oh, wow.
And the first thing we asked them, we said, well, can we move these when we're shooting? And they said, no, you can't do that. And so it was impossible to shoot there, you know, because it was just glass all over the courtroom. So we fortunately have a friend who became a judge last year in Camp Verde. And we hadn't asked her because we were hoping to get a place in the valley, but we just called her up and said, hey, Linda, you know, we're kind of coming down to the wire. Is there any way we can shoot in your courtroom? She said, oh yeah, sure. And so we ended up going up to Camp Verde one day and took the crew and the cast up there, and we shot all that in one day.
Wow, that's really cool. It's really hard to shoot on location, right? You have to get permits and permissions and all that sort of thing, so that's a great way to.
Oh, we have one of our cast members here, Laura Workman. She played Eve's mom, Ann. She's right here.
Another location we had a really hard time finding was a prison, and so we built that. We were in downtown Phoenix in the OH building. If you know the OH building, it's a big, tall, 30+ whatever story building. And so we rented downstairs. We had about 10,000 feet in two different spaces, and we built the prison set. We built the jail. We built the women prison. You had all those housewives who were there as extras, dressed in orange, and we officed right next to Child Protective Services. So in between scenes, when they were wandering, we had some complaints because people from Child Protective Service were wondering, what are these prisoners wandering around our set? But and the airplane, you see the airplane, we built that airplane. That was we could not find an airline will not let you walk on and just film them, film anything in the airline. And we couldn't film in the boneyard. We looked down in Tucson and also out in is it Glendale? Goodyear, that's right, the other G. And then they wouldn't they weren't doing any filming, and they just said, oh, because of COVID. Everyone, COVID.
Yeah.
So we said, well, we just need to build it. So we found a place to do it, and we found the parts, and we had a great crew, everyone. But the art guy, Rev, put everything together and made it look kind of real.
Yeah, that's just one side of the fuselage, that airplane. We only had 3 rows of seats, so we had to kind of move them around and make it work.
Well, it was convincing. Yeah. Other questions? Yeah, right here.
What was the time frame from when you first read the script and said, yeah, this is something I want to do, to when the final cut of your editing?
Well, I found the script in 2015.
Oh, my.
And I immediately wanted to do it then, but I realized, things happen, and you really have to be ready to go forward and to make a movie, and you have to have the money and all that. And so we just kind of were trying to get things together, and nothing was coming together, and we ended up making a different movie in 2017, and then again in 2019, I said, okay, let's make Condition of Return. And we were all ready to do it then, and we realized, I wasn't ready. I was a little scared because, it intimidated me, but I knew if we were gonna do it right, we needed more resources, we needed a bigger crew, we needed more, a bigger budget and all that, so we put it off again, and finally, we shot it last May and June of 2022, and finished editing. Well, we never finished, but finished editing in December.
Hey, by the way, I loved Natasha Hemster's makeup. I thought her makeup was terrific, right?
Oh, she looks beautiful.
I love movies that kind of twist happens, right? Like one that always comes to mind is Angel Heart, right? was like a young, Natasha, right? She really kind of reminded me. Yeah, like they were, like she was her niece or something.
Well, it was kind of funny because Natasha wasn't at all what we had pictured the character of Liza as at the beginning. You know, she was written as older, for one thing, and she was written as sort of this sophisticated English woman. And but we ended up getting Natasha. You know, you can't say no to that. And we cast her, and it was funny because the day we were shooting that scene, Hannah Lynn came up to me and she said, you know, she said, it was kind of weird, you know, we're both blonde and you know that. She says, but it kind of makes sense, you know, it's kind of like, you know, Eve is projecting herself, you know, in Liza in a way. So I said, oh yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, Natasha was just there one day. We could only afford to use her one day, so so we had her for 12 hours, and that makes for quite a challenge when you have two different locations, you know, across town. And we shot her with Anna Lynn and the one in the house, and then we got the crew back to the, you know, across town to the other set and shot the rest of it. But yeah, that was a fun day.
This was our 5th film, and you know, the first one was in 2005. All of them are on, well, the other 4 are on all the streaming services. But what we're really hoping here is for we've been talking to several distributors. They've approached us, and our goal is to choose a distributor hopefully in the next 30 or less days, and then we're going to do something. It's been out there, but we're going to try to do it a little different way, and we're going to use some social influencers and really promote this film on social media. Anna Lynn and Dean and Natasha and James are 100% in. They want to make this. For Anna Lynn, it's a message movie. You know, she has a lot of causes, and she's very passionate about the awareness of the mass shootings. In fact, the very first day of our shoot was the church scene, the church shooting. And what was really eerie is about halfway through the day, someone's checking the news, and that's the exact same day that the Uvalde shooting was taking place. So talk about really, you know, just that feeling, and it was just kind of, it was, you know, surreal. So she's very passionate about it, and you know, we're asking everyone to kind of be part of the movement. And you know, we're excited about it. It's something that, you know, I think it's a very lighthearted movie, isn't it?
Oh, and I just want to mention, can you talk about Dean's performance and working with Dean?
Yeah, Dean was a lucky accident. It just so happened that he and Anna Lynn are at the same management company, and I was talking to one of her managers, and he actually pitched Dean to me. Yeah, I was asking about a couple of other actors, and he says, "Well, what about Dean Cain?" And I says, "Oh, huh." And I said, "You think he would want to do it?" He says, "Well, send him the script," and they sent it, and luckily he wanted to do it. But yeah, he's such a great guy. We had such a great cast. You know, even our costume designer, who's done tons of films and commercials, and she was talking about how, you know, it was just the funnest and best cast she had ever worked with, and that, you know, that was because in part of Dean and Anna Lynn. You know, he just comes in and he's just, you know, down to earth and just tries to have fun, and just a great guy to be around. And I thought he did a really good job too.
Hey, Tommy and Mark, thank you for being here. Thank you.
It's weird, right?